Live. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for that. We just had a big glitch. Just boop, everything just kind of went off. You know what it probably was, being completely honest? Me talking about Sexy Red. I say it again. That's what it is. Listen, I don't care who show she on. She can get award from what, the Grammys, Academy Awards, BET or EBT. I gives a damn. What ain't gonna happen? What ain't gonna happen? Okay.
Whatever.
Hey, listen.
Like, get it sexy.
No, hey, look, hey, they can get it sexy. I don't care. No, what I said, no, listen, what I said was it's probably why everything went on this fritz, because I was talking about Sexy Red, and my baby ain't gonna be up in here talking about no damn pound town. So I can care less about how many sexies want to get it. Now, my baby, y'all remember Chris Rock? He said, "Hey, my main goal is to keep my baby off the pole." You dig what I'm saying?
There's only so much you can do, man.
I know.
Quick story. I got again 22 and 19. So they starting to do things that I may not approve of, but at the same time, I have to be like, y'all be careful, okay? Yeah. So my oldest daughter flew in town for my youngest daughter's birthday. They went to Houston to a Sexy Red concert.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I didn't want them to go, but at the same time, they came back a couple of days later. They were with some friends, and I was asking them how was it, and they were like, "Well, this and that. We almost got into a fight." I was like, "Well, who'd you think was gonna be there?"
Come on.
I was like, did you think it'd be people in suits and tuxes? I was like, no. You know, third ward in Houston, right?
Come on. And so that's what I'm saying, man. Look, I'm being honest. Listen, I know what's out here, and here's the deal. I'm also a DJ, so I know the music. You get what I mean? I know what it does, but as my daughter at this age now, when she's grown, I don't care. Like, look, I know I did some out of line things, and my mother, right, being a single parent, she couldn't control me. I'm larger, bigger than her, right? As a matter of fact, while everybody's coming on, I know Herm coming back on to it. As we're talking about these different directions, I remember my mother got me involved in Taekwondo at a young age, right? Oh, cool. And so, you know, I was just doing something, right? I got a little bit older. Now I got a little bit, hey, you see this? I had like maybe 2, right? I had a little dirt over here, right? And then so I did something out of line, and she didn't like it. Right. But at the same time, I was still going to, you know, Taekwondo. And so she's like, boy, what I tell you, boom, she tried to hit and swing me, and I blocked her. Didn't know it was reverse. And then she tried with the left. Wow. I was like, boom. And she said, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know, Mama, why are you doing it? It was almost like a movie. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Bloop, bloop. And then so she said, you know what? See, you're stupid. You need to go in your room. And that was all she could do. Right. Because I couldn't help myself. So, not saying that I'm here to control my daughter, but I do know at a certain age, there is some control that I do have. And I want to make sure I'm pouring into her so that when she do decide to go to a damn whoever concert, that she's cognizant of what's going on. You know what I mean?
She gonna go. Oh,
yeah.
You also share with her like the evolution of women in hip hop. Like, it didn't start off with a Sexy Red. You know,
no, of course not. Oh no,
MC Light and
Latifah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
And show her like the evolution and what our society has been like since that image has changed. You know what I mean? Like, giving the history of it. Why it's so damaging to see, like when we say the cutters.
I mean, like she knows that, right? And I make sure that she knows that. However, what I can't control is another media. Right. That means if the phone, like you remember back in the day, and I know you remember this, Jabri and Herm. Look, back in the day, the TV used to shut off.
You got static at a certain time.
Yeah, and then look, it do the Pledge of Allegiance, you know, and then say, ooh, then it go off. You know what I'm saying? Right now, it's 24/7. So I'm not going to lose sleep trying to, you know, go through all that crazy mess just to monitor her. But I do make sure I inform her. That's the key. That's the point. Yeah. So, hey, sorry about that, Big Herm, man. I think that Sexy Red and her dominions kind of shut down everything. But, you know, I mean, it don't make no damn sense. But anyway, so go ahead. Pick up where y'all was leading off at, or where we left off at. Y'all remember?
Yeah, I don't remember what the last thing you heard. Did you?
Well, I think we on Danny's question next.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Danny.
Okay, so listening to Seth and Herm, they sound like some old heads, right? So just a little bit. So I'm curious, just that conversation when it comes to kids, because we're talking about like their career paths and their transition from high school into the workforce. You know, kids nowadays, they look at content creators and they feel like that's a valid profession. So because you work with a lot of youth, what are they talking about now in terms of career paths and the things that they kind of see themselves doing?
Yeah, entrepreneurship is really heavy. Entrepreneurship. I think the idea around the freedom and being able to, because there's so many things, so many avenues. You have clothes, making clothes, t-shirts. I mean, being a designer, that's really big. Of course, you have the music, the independent music. You have a lot of youth who are interested in that. Technology is also another avenue that I've heard youth wanting to explore. So I think it depends on the youth themselves, but you're right. The internet has opened up a whole new world. But with that comes a responsibility of what your content is. I've seen, TikTok, YouTube, you've seen the youth somewhat depending on, like I said, the rap, and I've talked about this before, as far as the rap portion and wanting to be an artist, but what you're portraying is drugs and alcohol. You know what I mean? So I think that's where it kind of gets a little iffy. I like to see a message associated with the art, and especially one of empowerment and positivity. It's enough of the drugs and alcohol in the women. You know what I mean? So that's the tricky thing I see with that. Like, what is your purpose? Have a message. Like, what do you want people to hear from you or to understand about you? And it goes far beyond just that. So that's what I would just like to encourage.
Okay, now, Seth. Oh, I'm sorry, Seth. Now, would you be okay with if she doesn't go in like the traditional profession, if she doesn't pick like a career path that's like a nurse or a doctor? Would you be okay if she's like, I want to be a content creator?
No, absolutely. I would, right? But here's the goal. The deal is her picking a direction. You get what I'm saying? That's the deal, right? I have an issue with individuals that are liberal in their heads and they're like, well, I let it go wherever I want. No, that ain't it. You know why? Because nothing outside is going to care about what you feel like. So whatever you do, if you want to be a content creator, who wants your content? Just because you like it, how do you know that you've done your market research for enough people to like it that you can live off of? Try it. And I would never tell her what not to do. All I would do is give her suggestions and sit back. Like, keep this in mind. I work with individuals like my 9 to 5. I work with entrepreneurs, right? Veteran entrepreneurs. And I have heard a lot of different ideas and everything like that. And there's a market for all of them, right? But what I see when it comes down to children, they are more interested in the results of what people do as far as content creation, but they don't know about that hard work. They don't understand what a grind look like. They don't understand what all those 100 no's look like, and you get that 1 year, right? They don't know what that, people saying that, your content sucks feels like. And so my position as far as being a father or even a mentor is to let them know both sides. It's a dichotomy. You dig what I'm saying? Some people are going to love what you do. Some people might hate it. You may have family members that don't like what you do. And then people that you don't know will be your best supporter. Hey, but look, shout out to Mr. Big Will. His birthday was the other day. Happy birthday, homie.
What on, man? Happy birthday, dog.
Happy birthday.
What I will.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I think, though.
Hey, the thing about the internet stuff, right?
Yeah.
Here's the biggest problem I have with it is that kids look at these people like the Kai Cenats and all these folks and think it's just easy. You know what I mean? So they think entrepreneurship is easy.
Bro.
You know what I mean? They don't understand. Like, if you really listen to what them folks had to do to get to where they are as content creators, they really had to put in the work and grind at it, making hours and hours and hours of content and not making a dime.
Nothing.
With consistency.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if my child was saying that they want to do that and they showed that they had the grind and consistency, they believed in their model, and I see that they're constantly trying to grow, I could support that. But if they think that it's going to be easy, you know what I mean, and I'm gonna get on there and do a couple videos a day, and that's it, no, you're gonna get your ass a job now, you know what I mean?
Right.
You're not serious about this.
That dropped them fries.
Yeah, you ain't for real, because it's not what you see the finished product. You don't see where them cats had grind to get there. Even what's the lady that Abbott Elementary?
Yeah.
I used to see some of her videos on YouTube back in the day when she had no hair. You know what I mean?
10,000 hours.
She was he got money videos. Right. She was grinding all the way up to this point.
That's right.
But if you looked at her now, you would thought, oh man, it was easy. No, man, she was in the trenches trying to do this stuff.
Right.
So that's my only problem with the content creator stuff.
Yeah. Hey, so I have a question. See, I found interest in your story, and you only kind of slightly got into it. I don't want to get overly personal or anything like that. But at the same time, you were 19. You were out there on your own and with a child. It seems like. Look, I was 23 when I had my first daughter, and if you subtract the man years, I was probably like 16 years old in real life, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know what I was doing. I had absolutely no idea, but I had somebody there to help me as well. So my question to you is, from that point of your life, what propelled you? And I understand, we all have our certain things that push us, but what propelled you to get out of that? Because a lot of people get stuck in that mud and they don't find their way ever. And to see you as successful as you are, and then even more so giving back the way that you do, what propelled you? What was your mind state like at that time to be able to get out of that?
A lot of it wasn't easy. I had to get out of my own way. I'll say this: I have a lot of angels in my life. And I say that in the sense of sometimes you have people that will walk in right when you need it, and you don't know why they're there. They don't know, you know what I mean? They're just helping out of the kindness of their hearts. And you have to be in the place to accept it. So going through that journey, I met so many people. I met my business mentor, who I still have a relationship with to this day. She's one of my go-to persons in life in general. Whenever there's anything going on, I will call her, you know what I mean, in business or in personal. I've had experiences where doors have opened and I've just taken advantage of opportunities. One thing I will say why I'm a big advocate of the workplace is because you never know who you're going to meet. And building relationships with people is so important to get you to your next step. So yes, I would attribute my success to the people that I've met in my life along the way.
Love it.
I appreciate that.
All right. Well, go ahead. Hey, Big Herm, what you got, man?
So again, I apologize for coming into the tail end, but I appreciate you talked about, just now about your mentorship and business, like a business partner that you're able to talk to. Now, when it comes to kids, you was 19 at the time. How do you advise a young adult such as yourself to find that kind of person that they can get to? Because it might not be their parent that they can talk to. So how do you advise, better question, how do you advise a parent to put their pride aside and have their child reach out to a person that can make that kind of impact in their life?
Yeah, because a lot of the times the kids don't listen to you. They're going to listen to somebody else.
Right.
And that's difficult because you hear so many stories, you know what I mean? And again, that parenting out of fear, because I don't want nobody come in here messing up what I got going on and telling what we got going on. But I think that especially if a child needs help, find those services. It don't have to be infinite direction, you know what I mean? But find those services. We want to get to the youth before they make this bad decisions. And sometimes those bad decisions will lead you to the people who are going to be those angels in your life. So that's the way I was saying about those experiences that sometimes are necessary to get you on the right path. It would be those catalyst experiences that will lead you to the people that are going to help you out.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think it's funny. It's funny that we have so many different things going on in the world, and there's a battle, right? So it's a battle with ourselves, and it's also a battle with trying to explain and inform our children on the world that is going to take them in and probably chew them up and spit them out if they're not ready. You get what I mean? So if you can give us an idea of one of the first chapters or sections of your book, what will the children that get that book, what would they understand, or what are your hopes that they will get from the first, section of your book?
Well, since my program is really the foundation, the career strategies is the foundation of my program, I really want to talk about that because module 1 is mindset.
Okay, well, let's talk about the mindset.
Yeah, so let's do that. Yeah, so it's really allowing them to take a self-assessment of what's going on in their physical environment to let them know, okay, I need to start making some different decisions. And a lot of that is drugs, alcohol. Herm, you've mentioned that. A lot of times that's a distraction because we talked about that. You talked about that 1 year off. You graduated from high school, you ain't made no choices, but then now you open yourself up to, you got a lot of time on your hands. So what's happening? You filling that time and that void with drugs, alcohol. It could be sex. You know what I mean? That aimless roaming. And so if my program, that mindset part of it is getting them to evaluate what's going on in their physical environment to let them know, okay, I need to start making some decisions. Then we're preparing them for resume writing. Then we're preparing them for establishing a supporting network, So those are the things that I like to focus on, but it's always going to be mindset first.
Okay. And just GP, what's the age range that your program is for?
So I designed it for 16 to 25.
Okay.
Good. Miss Danny, what you got, ma'am?
Yeah, I want to hear more about the podcast too. So are you speaking to, if you're working with the youth, who is your target audience for the podcast? I know you've mentioned a little bit about the people that you talk to who are like in the business space. Who else are you talking to, and who's your target audience in the name of your podcast?
So the name of my podcast is Girl Get Up, Life and Times of an Infinite Dreamer. And really what it is I am that example of my program. The name of my program is the Infinite Dreamers Program. So I myself am an infinite dreamer, doing things that I thought never possible for myself, writing the book, starting the podcast, start being in media, or whatever it is that I want to do for myself. So that's where the podcast came in. I want to take it back because talking about the inception of my business and COVID hit and I couldn't, those doors was closed. The whole world shut down. I did not have the capabilities of going in and speaking to the youth. You know what I mean? So I had to kind of pivot, go online and build those relationships that way. And so, but the core of it never changed. Part of the idea that I had was to connect, the youth and business owners, to kind of be that to groom, I guess, that entrepreneurship spirit in the youth. Well, like I said, it didn't kind of work out that way. So with the podcast, I bring on entrepreneurs of different types, and that's the way that they can come on and provide that mentorship. I have a lot of different people with a lot of different backgrounds come on and talk about their experiences, and so that's why I did it that way. I couldn't kind of serve in one capacity, so I kind of do it in another.
Okay.
Hey, so another question, real quick. So one cool thing about being in the military, and when you get in positions of supervisory and you kind of overseeing different things, you have a lot of impact on people's lives. And the cool thing about it is the reason that you do it for it should be of genuine nature, right? And those people come back and they tell you how awesome you were and they appreciate you. And you don't do it for that, but at the same time, that's what they actually do. So have you had any full circle moments where people have come back and really touch you, and you may have said a thing that you didn't even know you were saying it to a certain person, and they came back to you and they were able to share with you that you touched them in a way that you didn't even realize?
Yeah. Outside of the podcast, though, you know, in my own private social networks, having relationships and being a part of different groups, you know what I mean? Like, we don't realize the things that we say, even in simple conversation, changes the way somebody thinks. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a voice to share your experiences, please use it.
Well, look, I appreciate that. No, that's good. Well, look, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we've been talking about, right? The different directions, specifically for you children out there, right? And for the parents that's listening. Always consider that there is more than one way, right? That our children can, grow and develop. And so it's important that we expose them to those different avenues. So I want to thank you, Miss C, for being on, ma'am. Yes. And so one more time, if you don't mind, giving your last words and how individuals can find you. Go ahead.
Again, thank you for having me. So if you are looking to learn more about the workbook or the program, you can go to my website, www.yourinfinitedirection.com, or you can email me at jones@yourinfinitedirection.com. Everything is over there. If you want to learn more about the podcast, it's on my website. So that's my hub. If you want to reach out to me and learn more about what I do.
All right. Well, we thank you. Go ahead, Herm. Final word. What you got, brother? Because I know you got like 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Hey, Miss C, I want to thank you for coming into the den and sharing your experiences, your life experience, and also what you're able to do for our watchers. You know what I'm saying, that are peeping the show today. I wish you much success, and hopefully we connect somewhere down the line and be able to do this again one day.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yes. Absolutely. And look, everybody, one more time for those and one more time for your mind. Danny, do you mind showing that shirt one more again, ma'am?
Make sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, if that's what you want, go ahead and click that. Look, that girl's showing. She's showing, right? Hey, the den is giving. Can you dig it? Yes. Thank you so much for that. And also, too, for those of you that's been listening, make sure you go and subscribe, y'all. We have a goal, right? We're here. We're trying to hit 1,000 in the next month. Yeah, 1,000 subscribers. Now, what you gonna do about it? All right, go ahead, run and tell everybody, your mama and all them, right? This is what we do. Again, we focus on leadership, growth, and development out in the community and also in the household, right, with a call to action. So we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We're going to be seeing y'all soon. Right on? Yes, right on. Later.